episode 2. Drinking some rooibos, or rooibos depending on how you pronounce it, and a lot of people see it as quite a healthy drink, and I drink it because I like it, but there's no doubt that tea, and particularly some of the herbal teas, are seen as being a healthy choice. So today I thought we'd look at a couple of recipes that vaguely fall into that heading of healthy, so that you can enjoy some tea flavours in a reasonably guilt-free way. That's of course the easiest way. So what I've got here is quite simply an empty saucepan, and we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in it. So with me so far, pretty easy stuff. Now this is one of the more intriguing grains of our time, corn. And why it is intriguing is because we can pop it, and that's what we're going to do in a minute. Firstly, we're going to make up some flavouring to go on it. So what I'm going to put in my grinder here is a teaspoon of tea salt. Now, we've discussed tea salt before, but basically it's tea and salt. This one is not ground, so it's basically crystals and lumps of tea. Great concept, and that's broken down a bit over time. Now what I've got here is a nice chai. Nice chai mixture, and I'm going to put a nice big teaspoon of that, maybe even a little bit more in there. And then I'm going to spice it up a bit, and I'm going to do that in two ways. One is I'm going to put half a teaspoon of these ajwain seeds in there. Now that's a spicy, slightly bitter Indian herb, ajwain seeds, and you can buy them from most Indian groceries. And what I think we'll also do is put about half a teaspoon of black pepper. So I'm going to grind those, but I'm also going to throw my popcorn in the hot oil because that's starting to smoke. It's going to get noisy. So my seeds and chai are grinding, and I'm just shaking my popcorn. I think that's the best way to make sure it doesn't burn and get a good result. Now you want to grind it nice and fine, really fine, almost like pepper and salt consistency. So my popcorn's going ballistic, and my spice mix is pretty well there. The spice is fine, and obviously I'm just monitoring the popcorn until it stops popping. Once you start getting to down just the very occasional, like that, it's pretty well ready to go. So there we go, we've got our popcorn. Just shake it a bit. There's always, every time you open it, there's that one that decides to explode, so keep it there. What we do is we get our spice mix and we pour it in. It's actually not that hard. I like to pour in about a third. Give it a nice shake. Another third. Now this was about a third of a cup of popcorn, which is about the right amount for this much of the spice. Shake that, and then the very last step, get a bowl, in it goes. Lovely, crunchy, spicy, tea flavoured chai popcorn. Quite exquisite. Great snack in front of the telly. Because of course, that's what we want to do with healthy foods, eat them in front of the telly. Okay, the next thing I'm going to work on is a nice healthy tea for breakfast for my wife. Now I make Mrs. Devotea a cup of tea every day, quite a few, but every breakfast time I like to take in a cup of tea, or if I'm off to work I like to leave behind the makings thereof. So yesterday though I decided to make her a cup of Daintree. And here it is. made up yesterday, and of course stone cold. That doesn't matter for what I'm going to do with it. So first I'm going to get this little device here. This is an old fruit container. One of these screw top fruit containers is just the best thing I found for what I'm about to do. I just recycle these, I love them. And that is, I'm very fond of using my stick mixer. And what I've found is that it's just the right size and shape to stick that in there and not have stuff fly all over the kitchen. And I'm quite a dab hand at having stuff fly all over the kitchen. I like to avoid it. So what I've got here is some strawberries, about 150, 200 grams. And I'm going to give them a bit of a lesson with the stick mixer. But make sure they mix around alright. We're going to put a bit of this low-fat yogurt in. I love low-fat yogurt. I like it as much as I like full-fat yogurt, but I don't like no-fat yogurt. That's just horrible. So you want to have, a nice 2% yogurt. And we'll stick the stick mixer in there. So that's looking at gorgeous colour, and then what I'm going to do is add a little bit of honey and my tea. So I'll just make a bit of a mess, but we'll pop that there. So now this honey is a really, really special honey. It's from Queensland in Australia, and the beehives are placed next to macadamia trees, and what happens is the bees collect the pollen from the macadamia tree, and it actually gives a wonderful macadamia flavour to the honey. It's quite remarkable because it doesn't actually have the nuts added to the honey, but it tastes like they're in there. I actually like macadamia nuts, but this honey is really, really gorgeous and quite different. But you can use any honey, of course. And then I've got my Daintree tea, also from Queensland. So I'll put about that much in there. Most of the cup. Stick it in there. And there we go. So for something different, Mrs. Devotea's morning cup of tea. Strawberry, Daintree, honey, yogurt, smoothie. Just slice the strawberry on there. And there we go. So I'll go back to my robosh and I'll see you next time. Cheers.